Hey everyone, and welcome to Open. I'm Rhina Valentin, your hosty Cafe con Leche for the next hour, encouraging you to get social with us online, that is. Tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BronxNet TV, or like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And of course, while you're there, you can follow moi on Twitter, FB, Instagram, Insta Stories, and LinkedIn at Rhina Valentin. So, every child deserves access to a solid education, and Pencils of Promise, the for-purpose organization, is dedicated to creating educational opportunities for children across the globe by building schools, creating programs, and global communities. In the spirit of the holiday season, Pencils of Promise is launching its Season of Promise campaign that will allow people to gift a donation that will go towards global education. And joining us to tell us more, we welcome Pencils of Promise Chief Executive Officer, Tanya Ramos. Tanya.
Hi, love. Thank you so much for having me back.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for taking the time to be here with us. You have been quite a busy woman.
I most certainly have. I mean, we were talking about just how us women are juggling, right? The career by day and homeschool teaching by day. But I feel really fortunate and filled with gratitude, which you had shared early on, for what we're able to still accomplish during these unprecedented times.
And so, leading into the gratitude of being able to work from home and multitask and have these abilities to educate our offsprings. There's this job that you do that offers people who would normally have access to education in certain parts of the world. And I think that the work that you are doing is so needed and so admirable. I understand that you are now 531 schools built strong.
We are so proud of that work, being able to really influence and support children around the globe, children in Guatemala, Laos, and in Ghana. To your point, 530 plus schools and counting, 100,000 kids being impacted and supported by our work daily.
And so let's talk a little bit about you, your background, and then coming aboard Pencils of Promise as the CEO, because you're skilled in an area of development, and it's just, you worked with the Children's Aid Society and in leadership roles, no less, which I have to acknowledge you for being a Latina,
Thank you.
CEO.
I can't help myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna, toma. From the BX, no less. Let's talk about that too.
Just so you know.
But just what you've chosen as a career path and purpose in your calling. So let's talk a little bit about your background and how it brought you to where you are now and the work that you've done thus far. I mean, it's amazing that you guys have 531 schools built.
Thank you so much. I mean, I will tell you that being a servant leader is part of my DNA. I grew up in Washington Heights, in New York City, New York native, then ultimately moved to the Bronx. And, I am the byproduct of two really hardworking Boricuas, two Latin folks who were very young, 20 and 21, struggling to make ends meet. And in full transparency, my father, he really struggled with drug addiction. And so we didn't have it easy growing up, limited resources, limited in a lot of different ways. And they worked multiple jobs so that my brother and I could go to private school, which was a luxury in our neighborhood. And it was because they wanted us to have a leg up. They wanted college to be a true destination while they themselves had never gone to college. And so to your point earlier, my career started in the nonprofit sector because I wanted kids that looked like you and I to have the opportunities that were afforded me that wouldn't have been afforded me had my parents not struggled and sacrificed.
Right.
Children's Aid Society, Taproot Foundation, just different entry points throughout my career. But the ultimate goal was to even the playing field, to make sure kids around the world have access to a quality education. Much of my work was domestic in nature early on. And so when I was tapped to become the first Latina CEO at Pencils of Promise, I was filled with pride, right? Beaming to be able to use everything I've done in my 20 plus year career, dating myself.
I won't tell anybody if you won't.
So dating myself, but ultimately now being able to take my skills and my passion for this work internationally and for a for-purpose organization.
How hot is that? And so how many years have you been in this role as Chief Executive Officer?
Yes, I'm going on 3 years. And as I alluded to, 25 plus years in the sector now.
It's all right, Mama. You wear it so well.
Why, thank you.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Not only that, you are really of service to our next generation, which to me is everything, right? So here you are traveling the world. Well, possibly not right now at this moment. You're working from your home. But by the same token, you're still making sure that all of this is in development. And what I really appreciate the most about this process that Pencils of Promise offers, I mean, honestly, I'm inspired to build a school because I like the structure of it. So let's talk to our viewers about how easy it is to be a contribution to even just pay for a classroom.
Absolutely. Listen, what I've really been proud of is that there are so many different ways to get involved at POP. We have young people dedicating their birthdays. We have POP clubs, so students around the world at different colleges that are fundraising in support of POP, whether it be to build a school, to your point, which is a $50,000 price point, but people will gather friends and families and communities to raise the funds to do just that. Digital e-reading programs for our students, where they have access to an e-reader, right? We know that when a child is growing up in poverty, they don't have access to books. So being able to have a digital smart reader, which has over 100 titles at their fingertips in their native tongue and in English, makes a huge difference because we want our kids to leave our schools literate. So there are so many opportunities. If you go onto our website, there are different campaigns. As I said, we have birthday campaigns. We just had our gala, our biggest fundraiser of the year, just last month, and we were able to raise over $700,000. And I am so humbled and honored that we were able to do that despite these challenging times. We had our founder, Adam Braun, our ambassador and board member, Gary Vaynerchuk, just really supporting our efforts, and just donors around the world that were really willing to step up to ensure that our kids are still being educated during these times.
So, you know, I just want everybody to know in this conversation, right, which I also am interested in knowing how you identify the areas that need this literacy, the programming, as well as the schools built, because you have Asia, Africa, you have South America. So how is it that Pencils of Promise identifies these locations?
I will say that we have benefited immensely from having really strong relationships with the Ministry of Education and the government in each of the countries we operate in. And what I'm also very proud of is that when we build a school, while we may finance the building of the school through the generous donations of our donors, that school, Rhina, ultimately belongs to the country, belongs to the community that we're building. So we really lean in on the government to identify the areas that need the most support and where we should build a school. And then we go through a very innovative and data-driven process to qualify a said community and to make sure that those community members are invested from the onset. So they give 20% of what I like to refer to as kind of like sweat equity in helping us build the school. And that ensures that those kids are going to attend that school when it opens up, right? Because there's an opportunity cost for many of the families that we work with when they choose to send their kids to our school as opposed to working with their family to make ends meet, if you will.
Right. No, it's lovely. It's just the shift of transformation, or the intent of energy being put into that. That within itself makes all the difference. And you make me proud. You make me proud to know you.
Thank
make me to have you on again, to share your progress, to share this wonderful news, to know that yes, you're still forging forward with making sure that education is accessible to anyone who is in need.
Absolutely. And like many of us, we had to pivot in the same way that things shut down in your neck of the woods and in mine. Around the globe, things were shutting down. So we had to find ways to continue to support our communities, support our students, and we're just so proud. We even created an education response fund where we raised additional dollars to support our students around the globe.
So if somebody wanted to support now, before we go, what do you recommend they do? And do they just go to the website and just make a donation, or is their donation directed into a certain sector within the Pencils of Promise what is it? It's an institution. So what would you refer to those sectors as?
So I would encourage anyone who wants to support our work to go onto our website, pencilsofpromise.org. I would also encourage them to follow us on Instagram, Pencils of Promise. I'm also on Instagram, Tanya Ramos Pop. If folks want to reach out to me directly, they can most certainly find my information on the website and ask me any questions. And then one other thing, if you don't mind, I'd like to plug. During this moment where we're really operating from a lens of gratitude and we're getting ready for the holidays, I would encourage all of your listeners to try to support our season of promise. This is our year-end giving, right? This opportunity to continue making an impact in the students that we serve. And if you go onto our website, you'll learn more about Season of Promise. On Instagram, we're talking about the 12 days of giving and everything that we're doing to support our efforts between Thanksgiving and the end of the calendar year. And every dollar counts. We have a number of donors that are matching funds. So every donation made will be matched. So you get to double your impact. So I can't encourage folks more than to really think about how to leverage their philanthropic dollars during this time.
Right. And she's referring to Giving Tuesday on December 1st. And what better way? That's right. And what better way to give than to give the gift of education? Awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Woo, Tanya, my girl, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, my amor.
Besitos, mi amor.
Igualmente. And here's to leaving things better than we found them.
There it is.
There you go. Woo, you guys, once again, Seasons of Promise will launch on December 1st. And to donate and give back, you can visit pencilsofpromise.org. All right, we have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll find out how you can buy local this year for the holidays. Don't go anywhere.